Good morning, and welcome back to another sitting with the sociology desk. I want to pause for a moment before we begin. Preparing for an examination that can shape the entire direction of your working life is not a small thing to carry day after day. And if you're feeling both the pull of ambition and the weight of the pressure, that is completely normal, and it means you are taking this seriously. This is issue 070, and today we are going into a single incident from a government school in Madhya Pradesh and what it reveals about how caste continues to be taught, quite literally, inside our institutions. Let us get into it. In Shivpuri district of Madhya Pradesh, a government school teacher assaulted a Dalit student and hurled a caste slur at him after the boy touched the teacher's water bottle. This single incident falls directly under Paper 2, under the unit on social movements in modern India, specifically the subunit on backward classes and Dalit movements. And it links directly across to the unit on the caste system and the subunit on untouchability. For you, this is exactly the kind of contemporary event the examiner expects you to read through a theoretical lens, not simply report as news. Let us start with the French sociologist Louis Dumont, whose concept you must know: cold, purity, and pollution. Dumont argued that Indian caste society is not simply divided by wealth or power. It is divided by an encompassing opposition between what is ritually pure and what is ritually impure. And this opposition ranks everybody, from the Brahmin at one end to the so-called untouchable at the other. Now watch how this explains our event. The teacher's refusal to let the boy touch his water bottle is not a personal quirk of one bad teacher. In Dumont's terms, it is the enactment inside a classroom of exactly this pure-impure code. The child's touch is treated as pollution, and the reaction is not incidental, it is structural. Now here is where you must bring in the counter-thinker, because a top answer never rests on one thinker alone. Ambedkar, in Annihilation of Caste, refused to treat untouchability as simply a set of beliefs about purity. For him, caste is a graded system of inequality, sanctioned by religion and reproduced through the daily denial of dignity, in exactly the kind of small transactions we saw in Shivpuri: eating, drinking, and touching. Ambedkar's solution was not persuasion or gradual cultural change. It was constitutional morality, legal compulsion backed by the force of the state. So you have two lenses on the same incident: Dumont reading it as culture and structure, Ambedkar reading it as political domination that requires a political and legal answer. If you remember one formulation from today, let it be this. As Dumont argued in Homo Hierarchicus, Indian society ranks its groups through an encompassing opposition of the pure and the impure, a principle that subordinates power and wealth to ritual status. Write that sentence into your answer almost exactly as it stands, and the examiner will know immediately that you have read the original argument, not a summary of a summary. Let me put on the examiner's hat for a moment, because this is the part that actually decides your marks. An average script, one that scores around 14 out of 20, will typically open by describing the Shivpuri incident in detail for 3 or 4 sentences, before it even mentions a thinker. It will name Dumont, perhaps, but without stating his exact concept, the pure-impure opposition. And it will stop there, with no counter view. A script that scores 18 or 19 does something completely different. It opens with the structural claim that untouchability is a reproduced code, not a historical leftover. It brings in the event in exactly 1 or 2 sentences, purely as evidence, not as the story you are telling. It names Dumont's concept precisely, sets Ambedkar's constitutional and political reading against it as a genuine counterposition, and it closes by looking forward, saying something about what this tension between culture and law means for Indian society going ahead. Remember the refrain: the event is your evidence, the theory is your destination. That single habit, event as evidence and never as narration, is what separates the ranker from everybody else. Here is a question in the exact spirit of what you might see in 2026. Dumont explained caste through the opposition of purity and pollution, while Ambedkar read it as graded inequality sanctioned by religion. Compare and contrast their approaches with reference to the persistence of untouchability in institutional settings. Pause the video and try sketching just the skeleton of your answer before you move on. Before we close, let us recap in 3 points. 1. Dumont explains untouchability through an encompassing hierarchy of the pure and the impure. 2. Ambedkar counters that this is graded inequality sanctioned by religion, correctable only through constitutional morality and law. 3. And this is the habit to carry into every answer you write. Use the current event in 1 or 2 sentences only as evidence, and spend the rest of your word count on theory. That is today's brief. Preparation for this examination is long, and some days it will drain you more than it inspires you. But the aspirants who are still standing on results day are simply the ones who showed up again, one ordinary day after another, even when nobody was watching. If you would like the complete answer block for today, the full model answer, the skeleton, the quotation arsenal, and the examiner notes, drop your email in the comments or write to us at team@upsc